I think this is. Oh, it's not yours?
It's not mine.
Oh, all right. It might be.
Is it? It might. What's that?
It might be ours. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
We left most of our junk in there.
Okay.
I'm super stoked to have it.
Thank you.
Ready for a lawsuit, just in
They
case.
tripped the wrong guy.
I'll make them laugh. No, exactly.
Danny?
Mike, he knows you.
No, hey Danny, how are you, buddy?
Gotta get past down the back. Should I go? I'm gonna go down the back.
Whatever works and is comfortable.
Yeah.
I'll do.
I put a mic on here. I want to make sure that you're comfortable.
Susan would have said at this point, look up solid.
And we're gonna drop this down the back here.
And then she would remind me that she delivered.
So we're gonna have to loosen them up a little bit.
I mean, what can a guy say to that?
Yeah,
right?
right.
I mean,
Fair, honestly.
at that point in the game, you're pretty
I
much.
like how you're talking to her.
Or maybe not.
Well, all the things that she said in notes.
What do you mean?
I remember saying, you believe we have two boys? She said, I was planning on having kids. Husband, I don't know.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Those are the feel a little wired.
I can read.
Adam,
We were training last Friday.
please report to the front. Your mom is waiting for you.
And well, I just like on the street. I know.
right, I think it's time to kick things off. Getting the mic check. Check. Chicka chicka. Chicka chicka. All right. I don't know who the smart person was that put the mic in my hands, but oh no, my slide notes. Yes. All right, ready. All right, welcome everyone to the first ever Abilities Hackathon. How many of you have been to a hackathon before? Quite a few. How many of you were at the most recent Baltimore hackathon? Quite a few. Okay, so this is new. It's going to have some rough spots. The Baltimore hackathon is 5 years old. It's had lots of practice. It's kind of, walking and starting kindergarten. We're fresh out of the womb and we're learning how to walk. So I hope you will be patient with us. Remember the mission of why we're here. And so onto that, why are we here? So this is an opportunity for technologists, hackers, and makers to partner with people who have real needs. The people that we'll be working with and solving problems for this weekend, they don't need a new face swap app. They don't need a new way to say yo to their friend. They have real needs that we take for granted every day. So this is a grassroots effort. Ed Slattery, who I'll bring up in a few minutes, has really been the champion of this event. He kept on pushing when everyone said no, or we don't have time, we don't have money. Ed just didn't listen to any of us, and he said, I can't hear you, and just kept on pushing. It's the beginning, hopefully the beginning of something that I think will be very powerful. I am so ecstatic for the results of this weekend, just to think of what we can all do together in the space of 48 hours. You're here not because you're seeking fortune and fame, although we do have some fortune at the end of the weekend. You're here because you want to bring your skills to the people who need help. And this was brought together in part by the Mayor's Office of Information Technology from the city of Baltimore. So they put together a plan a few years ago to have 4 hackathons across the span of 2 years. This is the second of them. And so without their support, this definitely wouldn't be happening. But another really important sponsor, and this is, again, a credit to Ed, is the Kennedy Krieger Institute. We've had a lot of planning meetings leading up to this. We've been using their meeting spaces. We've been using their physical therapists, their occupational therapists, lots of other therapists that I don't know what the preceding word is to. But they have been incredibly supportive, both with time and resources and help. We also have to thank the Baltimore Angels and Direct Mentions and BlackRock for their financial support, as well as the Station North Tool Library, or as Adam keeps acronyming it to me, STNL. SNTL. And I have to go, what is, oh, Station North Tool Library, okay. So they're going to be allowing us to use some of their tools that we don't have on site. And they're also sponsoring a prize, I believe, to the winners get a membership.
Yeah, and that'll actually be announced on Sunday. So yeah, you'll find out about that on Sunday. It's pretty awesome.
The kind of, well, Digital Harbor Foundation, you're in it. If you haven't been here before, welcome. I'm the executive director. I guess I never said my name. I'm Sean Grimes, the executive director of the Digital Harbor Foundation. And so this is our space where we run after school and summer programs for kids aged 3rd through 12th grade, all around maker activities. But we also use this space as a community space open to technologists and hackers and makers and people of all types who want to use our space for events like this. Betamore was, a huge contributor in time and help with Merlin and Barbara, who put together the website and the graphics, the awesome T-shirts and work like that. So without them, they were kind of the left or the right arm to our left arm, with Ed being the head. That's a great analogy. So I want to bring up Ed to give you a little introduction. to what he has in mind for this weekend. Ed is a very visionary person. I also think he's humble, and I bet the first thing he says when he gets up here is that, I didn't do anything, it was all these guys. But one thing I will point out about Ed is, I didn't know much about Ed before I started hearing he wants to do this hackathon for people with needs and ability or accessibility issues. And so I started kind of sourcing, doing my due diligence and researching up on this Ed Slattery guy. And everyone said he is a super nice guy. His heart is in the right place. And that's really why we continued to work with him all through the obstacles that we hit along the way, the tight timelines, the tight budgets. And that's, something you saw our few sponsor sliders. Like, we're working on a shoestring budget. We're doing the best with what we have. And it's really to Ed's credit of just constantly pushing us and driving us forward. I will point out, Ed is not old. I got yelled at for one of my staff calling him that earlier today, so Ed is not old.
Thank you, Sean. And I do want you all to know that I really had nothing to do with this. I came in here last October to the Baltimore Hackathon, the first hackathon I'd ever been to. I am not licensed to hold a hammer. I don't make anything. I do have more ideas than I know what to do with. So if any of you don't have a project idea, oh, I got them. I just don't know how to pull them off. I have a sister who's 61 years old with cerebral palsy, and I have an 18-year-old son who's unfortunately disabled because of a terrible crash. So I've lived with disability in my life, my whole life. Being a parent is very different than being a sibling. I'm going to tell you my joke. I'm the youngest. I learned how to swim with this kid with cerebral palsy. That's why I still swim in circles. See, I know you think that's really bad, but she's just my sister. And I get to pick on her. So it's very obvious to me that most of the stuff that's available for what we call activities of daily living, ADLs, activities of daily living, that is available for people with disabilities or challenges is crap. There are people who will take this piece out of an industrial supply catalog, this piece out of another one, and then they'll go get a cup out of a golf cart digest and slap it together and call it a wheelchair cup holder. They don't work because they're not designed for that. So while it's great to develop exoskeletons, and we have an exoskeleton designer here actually, came in from San Francisco, and that stuff needs to be done. Brain implants and all that stuff's great stuff, but that's not what people who live with challenges every day probably need for most of the rest of their lives. The sad thing is that this is my son, this is the way it's going to be, so how do I give him access? And so it is all about access. And I'll tell you one quick story and then I'll shut up. We didn't know that Matthew could help us do dishes after his crash until we had a house that he could access a sink in. He now has a sink he can access, and he can do dishes, much to his chagrin. But actually, he loves to help. He loves to do. He loves to be active. We're building him garden boxes that he can pull his wheelchair under, and he can garden, and he loves it. He wants to be doing these things. So the key to helping a child with a challenge is to give them access, and then we can find out what they can do. Well, I met Samuel and his wonderful mom, and we were talking, and she said to me, quite independently of that perspective that I have, is that we didn't know that Samuel was interested in computer programming until we took him here, and we had access. So my disabled son is no different than any of your children. If you don't give them access, if you don't give them opportunities, your kid won't know if they like soccer, they won't know if they like art, they won't know if they like music, if you don't give them access, right? Some of you ought to tell your kids they can't sing, okay? There are some dreams you should kill. But Well, it's better you do it than the world, right? I mean, get them on America's Got Talent and have Simon tell them that they stink. I'm joking. But if they don't have access, how are they going to find out they like it? How are they going to find out they're good at it? And so that's doubly true for children and even adults who have issues, cognitive, physical, visual, hearing, whatever the issue is. If they don't have access to these things, they'll never find out what they're capable of. We're never going to find out what they like, and they're not going to have a very fulfilling life. And so that's our job this weekend. And I see in 5 years, we're going to have 100 hacking teams, and we're going to be at the convention center, and we're going to have people come in to do demonstrations. Leanne is going to demonstrate some technology about inflatable products tomorrow. We have an automotive engineer who's working with Samuel on a collision avoidance system for wheelchairs. So just before Matthew runs over my toe, he yells, "Jump." Either he can jump or I'll jump, but somebody's got to jump. So these are just some of the ideas. If you don't have an idea of a project, talk to me. Talk to the physical therapists. There will be PTs, OTs, and maybe even some speech and language therapists here. There will be people with physical, cognitive challenges. I have emotional challenges, and probably nothing you can do for me. But if you have challenges, talk to those people. If you know somebody in your life who's even aging, right? So we're not just talking developmental kinds of things, where we're talking aging, right? Which I'm doing. So as I'm lying on the sidewalk, I had fallen over a log that the city left in the sidewalks. Is that on tape? I'm lying on the floor, and one of these wonderful DHF staffers calls 911 and says, "We have an elderly man who fell on the sidewalk." And I don't know who it was, but if I find you. So have a great time. Come talk to me or talk to some of the resources around here if you're really not sure what kind of project you want to work on. Talk to some of the other hackers, see what they're working on. We brought some things here that you can hack. Some of them you can't hack, and we need to put signs on them. Matthew's $15,000 power chair will be here tomorrow. That's what they all cost, by the way. That's not hackable, okay? It's measurable, it's sit-inable, it's drivable, it is not hackable. There is one over there that is hackable. So thank you all, have a great time. And I can't help you with any ideas.
Thank you, Ed. And yeah, if you guys didn't catch the story, we had a little bit of drama here today as Ed took a spill and then was taken away in an ambulance. And as he's leaving, he's like, I'll be back. And I was like, there's no way he's coming back. And sure enough, I get word, okay, I'm going to pick Ed up. And I'm like, okay. So Ed is here, despite all the things, all the obstacles that even came in today. So thank you, Ed, for your vision and for bringing us together. I also want to bring up Daniel from Lit Motors. So Daniel's been working on autonomous balancing electric vehicles.
Yeah, sure. Hi, my name's Daniel Kim. I'm the founder and CEO and technically the CTO of Lit Motors. And I've been working trying to bring safety to two-wheeled vehicles for about 10 years. And just recently, about a year ago, I got into an accident, and I'm going to show it to you for the first time in public. Go ahead, play. So I have to do research for my company, and a lot of that research revolves around actually riding motorcycles. So this is me behind this guy. I'm basically going to pass him on the exit, and he starts going wide, and no more fun. So there's an odd line of sandbags in the way, and this is when gravity takes a hold. So this accident was at 80 miles an hour. It broke both my feet and shattered my ankle, and just broke a lot of things in my shin and my knee, and eventually I had to get a hip replacement and broke my hand and a lot of other things. I'm incredibly lucky to be alive. And it took about 10 months to relearn to walk, and I'm walking again after 2 months, so yay. So I learned a lot from being in a wheelchair for about 6 months, and you know, the company I was running, Lit Motors, we're a San Francisco-based startup two-wheeled car company, and you know, that accident brought a lot of relevance to the work that I've been doing already, and surviving the accident and surviving the recovery, which was pretty traumatic, and I couldn't imagine what it would be like still being, you know, in Matthew State or whatnot, and so, you know, coming here as part of my, I guess it's, you know, I came here through Leanne, but, you know, coming here is kind of trying to get back as much as I can, just what I learned, and, you know, being a mechanical designer and an engineer and a designer. So my company, Lit Motors, we use gyroscopes. That's our core patent technology. And I don't recognize the music, but so this is our vehicle, and it's basically the marriage of a car and a motorcycle. So it's the best of both worlds: romance and the efficiency of a motorcycle, but the safety and the comfort of a car. So this is the last prototype that we built right before my accident, actually, and basically this is the first time a vehicle that is two-wheeled, self-bouncing with electronic controls has ever been built or debuted, and this is what I built with my team back in San Francisco. You can't knock it over. It is something that we took to the ice skating rink, and we're able to test and demo. My engineer here really does not ride a motorcycle, and there's no way he would be riding a motorcycle on ice. But the amazing thing, is there anyone who rides motorcycles in here? Oh, wow, okay. Well, anyways, doing this on an ice skating rink in reverse with your front wheel locked up is impossible. So we're bringing a lot of accessibility to anyone who would like to ride a motorcycle, but you know, the real benefits of a motorcycle, if you can cap the safety, is also to have the benefits of being able to be to park, and also what the gyros do is it makes it untippable in the case of an accident. So it's really the best of both worlds. Yeah, that's kind of my background. I'm technically the lead mechanical engineer and the CTO for all of our 72 patents, and so I'll be here all weekend. I guess as a mentor, I suppose, but happy to talk about the business or the mechanical side or design side. So thank you for your opportunity.
Thank you, Daniel. So I should point out, Ed flew Daniel and Leanne in from San Francisco, brought them here, said, hey, we're having this event, you got to come help out. And it's just the power of persuasion that Ed has. So hold on to your wallets in case he starts asking for money, because you won't be able to not. Leanne, let me introduce Leanne real quick. So she used to work for Other Lab, doing primarily soft robotics, which is a term I just learned today, which makes complete sense now that she described to me what it is. But I'll let her give you more insight.
So now I have to follow up the coolest video with a bunch of toys. But basically, so my previous job at Other Lab was to make soft robotics for people. So we were building exoskeletons out of fabric and air. And the idea is that they're lightweight, they're flexible, and they help you move around. This video here is a very early prototype of the fabric actuators. And they literally are just fabric sewn together with a polyurethane bladder, and they're inflated. And so you can set up a control system, you can do a whole lot of things with it, and it's incredibly beneficial on people. I can't show you those videos, unfortunately. But there's a whole bunch of them on YouTube, actually, and this is a very specific type of actuator that they made before I even got there, and we've since developed different ones. But you can see the benefits of it. You can make something that moves things or moves people. But then also you can prototype it pretty simply, and I can show anybody who's interested about it We've built also Ebola isolation tents out of similar technology, making shapes out of just polyethylene sheeting and a heat sealer. At other lab, we had rigged up our laser cutter to weld. And so then you could basically weld an entire sheet of like just U-line tubing and make a structure. So you can make it as big or as small as you'd like. This is just some really thin polyethylene, and there's ribs in between, and it's a little deflated now, but it's just made on this thing right here. So if anybody wants help with pattern making to make these things, I'm around all weekend and happy to assist.
Thank you, Leanne. It's just so cool to have this influx of new talent and really interesting talent. I also wanted to bring up Tom Riley here, who we've had quite a few email correspondences back and forth, and he is a designer and engineer and focuses mainly on like low-stress computer furniture plans that you can build yourself.
I've got two hats here, and will be a mentor for any of the team who want. The first one is Woodware Designs, which has been on the web since '95, and is about design wooden plan designs for low-stress furniture to prevent repetitive strain injury. It is also, we've done a number of desks for chairs and things of that nature. If you need to talk about reaches and what can be done and how you figure out where the monitor goes and where the keyboard goes, I can help you with that. All right, the second thing to do, I'm a futurist. That is to say, I design stuff, technical stuff, for 5 years out to the end of the century. It's my job to tell you where we're headed as best we can, which is about a 50% guess. But it's very helpful in not doing the wrong stuff. That is to say, if you want something that's good for somebody 50 years out, I can tell you what 50 years out means. It's very hard to do short, little choppy example projects as we're doing here, but I have dozens and dozens of bits and pieces from larger projects that could be pieced together to do this. For example, the most reasonable thing to expect from a chair like that is somebody puts a computer on it. If you put a computer on it, somebody's going to put an AI on it. So the question is, how hard is it to make an AI into a person, legally? And the answer is $395 on LegalZoom. All right, but how that works is I'd have to tell in more detail. Also, are we going back to the moon? No people are going back to the moon this century, but we can send robots. What would the robots look like? A whole lot like that chair. Who should be operating them from the Earth? The people who know how to use that chair. So we have carry-on ideas like that. Right now, people with challenges are being used as guinea pigs. What happens when that material is then moved into the mainstream of society? And happy to talk to anybody about that. We've got several projects running on that type of idea.
Thank you. So yeah, just going through some logistics for the rest of the evening. Bathrooms, if you're looking for one. The women's is in the hallway. Hang a left, and it's a door on your right. I'm thinking that Steph clearly marked it by now. Yep. The gentleman is, you go through this, the easiest way to it is go through this door, through our kitchen. Please don't go to the bathroom in our kitchen. And hang a right. And I use that joke every time I have to be at the mic. So hang a right through the kitchen, and you'll see the door on your right. Gentlemen who need a stall, we had quite a few issues at the last Baltimore Hackathon with the stall in the gentleman's bathroom. There is another bathroom in the staff, in the office. So kind of directly across from this hallway, There's a room with a bunch of pictures on the wall. The bathroom is in the far right opposite corner. That is also our bathroom for anyone who has accessibility needs. We have cleared out the pathway to that bathroom. It is the least cluttered bathroom of the three. On-duty staff will be wearing blue shirts all weekend long. There will be at least one staff member from DHF on duty, so they can help you with some of the pieces that are specific to our place. And then there will be other staff, volunteers, and things like that who can help you with food and bathrooms and stuff like that. Mentors, we asked them to put a red M on their name tag. And for my colorblind friends, Merlin, where are you? Just look for the M. Hopefully someone's name is an M like board. Wi-Fi, DHF guests, no password. If you have problems, like say you start off over here and you move across the hall and the internet's a little bit slow, let us know. We'll get you the Wi-Fi password. Sometimes the guest network, when you move from room to room, it doesn't transfer you to the hotspots. So we could just give you the name of the access point in that room and you can connect. Twitter, so we have @AbilitiesHack and #AbilitiesHack. Facebook, if you still do that. And the Slack channel, if anyone needs help getting on the Slack channel, please see Adam or Merlin, and they can get you on. If you don't know what Slack is, that's okay. Hopefully someone on your team will, and they can coordinate everything, or you just find someone with a blue shirt for help. Just recouping times, so tonight we'll run until midnight. Karaoke following, just kidding.
Just one point.
Yeah.
I have a guest room if somebody needs a crash.
Okay. And then tomorrow we will run from 9 a.m. to midnight. And then on Sunday, the big day, Sunday, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. is the hacking. All presentations need to be submitted to DevPost, and we'll go over that more. You'll get an email about that, and then also we'll remind everyone on Sunday. Presentations will go from 2 to 4, and then the judges deliberate, and then the winner announcements.
Yeah, I was going to say, actually, hacking goes until 1 p.m. on Sunday. So you need to submit to DevPost by 1 p.m. Information will be on the Slack. We'll also be putting posters up and things like that. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask someone with your shirts.
All right, thank you, Adam.
Yeah.
Clarification. So this weekend you get to choose your mission. So transportation or mobility, leisure and entertainment, wearables, and then just kind of a general category of open software and hardware. We ask that you submit to only one of the categories. That's as of now, maybe things will change. But any one of those categories you can submit your project to. There's no benefit to submitting to one or the other. They all have the same prize amounts at this point in time. For equipment and supplies, oops, sorry. It's my first time with the slide deck. I'm just kidding. So 3D printers, please see a DHF staff member to get started on the 3D printers. Once you've gotten started, you'll learn the process of how you can run your own prints on your own time, or run your own prints on the machines. You really just need us to kind of walk you through the first step. Their size restrictions are 140 millimeters cubed, or 5.5 inches for us Americans. We will be providing all the filament this weekend, unless you have some special filament. We do only run PLA in our machines, but we do have a pretty substantial selection of colors and things like that, if that's important to you. Painting them is also a great idea. The laser cutter, please see our staff and have them run it for you. For that tool, you will need to supply your own material. I know that Adam sent out an email of the materials that we support in the laser cutter. If you need ideas of where to source those materials, please let me know, and I can provide you with some different options. Our electronics and sensors, we do, as I mentioned before, this is sort of grassroots. We do have a small selection of sensors and components. If you're interested in getting one of those, since we don't have like a big corporate sponsor that's just going to throw them out there for us all to grab bag, just please see one of the staff members. We do have a limited supply, and we ask you to actually use what you take, and if you don't use it, return it. for someone else. Wheelchairs and walkers, as Ed mentioned, Ed has been sourcing some of those that we can use either for hacking directly or for measuring and prototyping with. Again, those are while supplies last. Just 2 quick tips for any sort of hackathon, especially this one though, is A, focus on your problem, focus on the need that you're trying to solve for your target audience. Don't get distracted by bells and whistles or marketability, like this is to solve a problem, a real problem for someone else. And then 2, use your resources, and I'm actually, in this instance, I'm not talking about the 3D printers or the laser cutting or the sensors. I'm actually talking about all the mentors and the family members that came here. They've kind of donated their time to be a resource for you because they know that this is a melding of 2 worlds. This is technologists and hackers and makers melding with people with need and with accessibility issues, and this is an opportunity for us to figure things out. As we were I was talking to one person, and she said, I don't know much about technology. And it's like, it's okay. I don't know much about accessibility. We're going to figure it out together. You're going to train me, and I'm going to train you. So definitely recommend that you use the valuable resources that Ed has brought in the form of people who can answer questions.
Can I just introduce
Yeah.
one more person? I brought another person, Tom, the bald guy there.
The old guy.
If I'm old.
The old guy and the bald guy.
Tom has spent 10 years at Chrysler working on their high-performance automobiles like the Viper and other cool stuff like that. Tom also is working with Sam, which I mentioned earlier, on a collision avoidance system for wheelchairs. But Tom's got a wealth of knowledge. He actually has his own company now, and he designed a lift system in my house. We have a 3-floor tower, and Matthew can pull himself all the way up because of the system that Tom designed. It's really amazing. It looks like a very fancy dumbwaiter, but it evaluates the amount of torque required to lift the platform and the person. It then measures how much the person is providing, and the motor provides the rest. So if Matthew is, and I can make it harder too. So as he gets stronger, we can adjust that. And so Tom is a really, really smart guy, and he's here to mentor as well. So he's mentoring Sam, and they've been kind of mentoring over Skype and things for a couple of weeks. So I just want to mention Tom. He knows all sorts of stuff, so look for him too.
Fun story about that lift. Matthew was here one day while Ed was pitching the hackathon to our kids, and Matthew's in the background going like this, flexing his muscles, showing how strong he's gotten from pulling himself up the stairs. So at this point, I'd like to open up the floor for anyone who has an idea and is looking for help or team members. If anyone wants to sort of pitch an idea, anyone?
Yeah, you guys can actually just line up over here if
Yeah.
you're interested. Just line up and then feel free to put your idea. Yeah, and then obviously we have you've already joined Slack, we have a Find a Team channel too. But yeah, great way if you have an idea or if you're just looking for a team to do something specific. Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm Jake. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Jake.
So, I do this thing in Baltimore called Aging 2.0. Got some people here, Michael, that's helps out with the chapter. We basically are a way to accelerate innovation for older adults. So we're kind of like a single loci of strength between technology and older adults. People who serve older adults and people who could build stuff that serves for older adults. So when I heard about the hackathon, I was like, this is perfect, right up our wheelhouse. We could maybe even create something this weekend that makes a real difference. So I just invite anyone who wants to focus on adults with either cognitive impairment, social isolation issues. There's a litany of things that we could work on today. Let's get together and pick a few or one and just go from there. So if you want to work on that, I'm your guy. Thank you.
troublemakers. Hey, I'm Chris.
I'm Greg.
So we're both through Android, and we're kind of looking for ideas slash partners, and we're thinking about doing an Android app, possibly for people who have vision impairment.
Yeah, so we're looking possibly to do some kind of like an object detection where, you know, maybe you're in a room you've never been in before and you want to know what's in the room. And so we're looking for anyone who possibly knows like computer vision, like OpenCV or anything like that. That would be really helpful, or just Android, or just wants to help out.
Or who's knowledgeable on the subject
Yeah,
also.
because we don't, yeah.
We're both sighted and we don't have any non-sighted friends. So
Yeah, so if anyone has any ideas or anything, that would be awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I recognize you too.
Hi, I'm Bella, and I'm on a team with Royal and Amiri back there. Guys, wave. Okay, so we haven't really come up with a concrete idea, but we're thinking about making something with virtual reality and the Google Cardboard, where we're going to use probably Unity to make 3D worlds that when people with accessibility issues can use the headset, they can like visit places or have experiences that they otherwise wouldn't be able to access. And we're looking for someone who might want to join our team with design skills or 3D, like modeling or design skills, or even if you just have ideas about different environments and experiences that people with accessibility issues might want to experience. So yeah, come talk to us.
All right, thank you, Bella.
Is there anyone else that would like to? Yeah, go for it.
My name is Walker. My issue is most prosthetics are handmade, one of a kind, unique to the required task at hand. This results in you needing 15 different devices to get all the things you want to get done. Like a running leg, a swimming leg, a shower leg, one for every kind of thing you want to do. So what I want to do is I want to make a modular, modifiable, biomimetic system of components that can be easily altered by the person so they can tailor it to the exact task they want to do. They don't have to go back and forth to the doctor, they don't have to go back and forth to the technicians. They can simply go home and do it in the garage. Bring them to places like this makerspace, show them how to use the tools, give them proper knowledge, and just let them run with it. Once the system functions, I'd like to make them functioning works of art, like the Alternative Limb Project, and in a medical sense, use FES system, ultrasound for bone muscle simulation to act as preventative maintenance for future limb transplantations. Thank you.
Awesome. Hey, I'm learning so much already. Mike, yeah? I'm learning so much already by just being around for a few hours today. I can't wait to see what my knowledge base is on Sunday.
For people that are using wheelchairs, there's a few people that I know that have to ride inside the lane of where people are driving at. And just like with bicycles, so this is a cross product with for wheelchairs, but it can also be used for bicycles. A flexible arm that would be behind the wheelchair, that would come down, that would give you the 3 feet distance that people are supposed to go around you. And it would also have the lights, kind of like the lights on the piano over there, so they can control it. And then it can go the other way, so that way, when they're in the lane of travel on the road, it would be out. And then when they get to the door where they want to go into it, they would push a button and it would go up behind them. Or if they're on the side of the road, they could use it the same way too, like in the sidewalk and stuff like that. So one of the good things is it's kind of expensive to design things for just wheelchairs, but if bicyclists could use it also, then it could reduce the cost because it's spread over a wider audience. And it's going to be made out of a foam kind of material, so if somebody were to hit it, say like 25 miles an hour, 50, whatever, it has to be worked out. Hopefully if it swings around and hits them, it will not hurt them. So.
Cool.
I want to follow up on that because anybody in a wheelchair has a backpack on that wheelchair. It's just kind of standard. It's useless to the person in the wheelchair. So I've had this idea, I've not pursued it at all, of having an arm behind the wheelchair that simply has a hinge, motorized hinge, that brings the bag around to them. And that's a very similar kind of idea. And so if anybody wants to work on something like that, because it would be a very complementary element. I also have a couple of walkers here, and if anybody's, I actually brought one in that I can go get a hacksaw and you can hack it. I mean, literally hacksaw. My kind of old man hacking. I have an idea for a modular walker. You see how all this is actually Matthews. You cannot hack this one. But these are add-ons, and they don't fit, and the torque that he puts on these things when he's walking just moves them all over the place. These little wheels are deadly. If you hit anything, you're going over. And so I have an idea where we can cut this off, we can cut this off, and we can insert them into these tubes. All of these wheels, we can have different sets of wheels. These things actually just come right off. And you can put whatever sets of wheels, ones that turn, don't turn, different roll rates, all sorts of options, that this thing should be modular. So if anybody wants to, I don't have a hacksaw here, I don't know if you guys do, but I can get one. And we can hack this. I've also designed walker weights for these walkers instead of using sandbags. And this is a product that I hope to have out to the market in the next 2 months. So instead of doing this, which is what therapists have been doing since my sister was a child, they're actually designed for the walker. You can adjust the weight, they're easy to get on, easy to get off. And so they provide some counterbalance because we human beings are top heavy. And so it provides a counterbalance. These things, you can't get them all the way down to the floor, which is where you really want them. If you want to lower the center of gravity, you need to move them down. And I'm an economist. I said center of gravity. Pretty cool, huh? Those are, and you can see a prototype that Tom and I actually worked on over here about different size wheels and that kind of stuff. So if anybody's interested in any of those ideas, Mike, you can see Mike, you can see me, and you can hack, literally.
All right, so I've been a little inspired while Ed was giving his demo, tying it back to something Janice and I were talking about earlier. You know, she was saying that she trains with Matt and they do some races and things like that. And I was like, has anyone done like a Fitbit style for people to fix that? Is that even of interest? Like, you know, something that measures the walker speeds or the gait or things like that, you know, to make them feel part of the participation and the track sort of energy. Yep. So I'm getting the 5-minute warning, or the 5 minutes are up warning, and it's time for food. Dinner is served. Oh, I love the clapping. So dinner will be in the back hallway. The easiest, probably most efficient way to do this would be to go out those doors, hang a left, go down to the end, hang another left.
Probably actually
Oh, okay, I'm getting the, you don't know what you're talking about look. So go through the kitchen and then get the food there. Our staff is going to rearrange this room while you all get up. So we do need everyone to at least vacate the chairs.
Yeah, and also, just real quick, we have a room called the Nano Lab that's across the hall. That room is also available to use. So we're going to have the Mega Lab, this is going to be rearranged, it's going to take like 10 minutes, so while you guys are grabbing food, and also the Nano Lab. So feel free to use this time to sort of mingle and find a team, and then yeah, let's get hacking.
Voice recognition required. type of thing that will happen. Really. No question about it. Okay? But I can tell you this stuff. Come back. When you're grown up, older. Most interpersonal stuff is 2 to 5 years out. Because that's far out that you can go and make a buck. It's less than 2 years I can't even design it. It's more than 6. The cost of the venture capital will be so high. I'm a designer. I work 6 years. What I'm saying is, have a nice experience. Do something about it. People who have problems figure themselves out.
Okay, so just 2 minutes.
In the society. And one of the things that can be on that basis is go back to work. And I have lots and lots of bits and pieces that do some graphics. We have a short story that needs to be rewritten so it's in right. That would be a big deal. That could be part of the process. What I can't do is thank you. That would be 24 hours out. I don't even start.
Trying to pair them. So just drop that over.
You're stalling outside. That's all on the outside. Think like you have your basic bowl of cardstock which just wraps around. So now, if you go here, the other way like to snap. There you go. Now you have half thing. Like it just.
So I'm just leaving it.
Well, you can download all their yeah, I think that's like the idea of extra something and if we can do like yeah, absolutely. We're actually all you have is stuff around here. The spinal brace. Also, take that weight off. People like steady NFL cameraman on the giant weights. Makes that big 6 pound figure. Steady. Wow.
That's the, it's pretty much this back-mounted system that has servos and actually stuff in the down that you call it. The idea is it takes a 50-pound pack, makes it feel like a 30-pound pack, and it puts all the weight in the servos.
Yeah, whatever you think.
It's a big wide. We might switch this to a DSLR. So we can what is that? C3? C3?
Is the Mark II, is that the 4K one?
Yeah. Which almost no one shoots 4K. I'll bring them in. Yeah, maybe we should switch this to a DSLR. Yeah, whenever we call the lab, I'm not using it setting up. Also, where do you want to roll? Open, I'm not well, I mean, it's to kind of. I guess you can just put up there on right. Basically, we're trying to make a system of process. It's not the same, but it is cool. It's good. Like where soccer is local soccer, where running should be running track, where right. So yeah, that's so imagine having to go to like what's called college. Imagine having to go to college, so hey college, change the trade out on my shoe, maybe we should basically what you have to do. So you gotta carry around 15 different pairs of shoes. Think of it like having one shoe with just quick changes, swap it in now with everyone else. So yeah, that's cool. Everybody should probably check this out. Handicap.
No, of course it is.
Yeah, 24 hours of footage. Can't understand. This guy has she's helping
Yeah, so like we can say,
yeah, well, the great work are they in there? They have positions. Yeah. Okay, so
with your hand, you can use this process.
It's hot and thinking about it for a couple hours.
You lost your hand.
Yeah, once that run you start to go, it gets hot. Yeah.
Now you barbecue stuff and just.
So your first one? Yep, after from tomorrow, today into tomorrow. Then it comes out just after the 2 hours. What are you guys doing, running laps? It's just because it's warm, all this stuff.
Consolidate everything. Just listen to me kind of running around.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
I think we're good.
Thank you for joining the, can't talk, what are words? Thank you for joining the live stream. We'll be back on Sunday. Thank you.